Hello and shalom. In the next few minutes, I will try to explain why Revive might be very crucial for every organization that has some security devices. And I will start with a short story. On one of my flights to Bangkok, I allowed by the captain to enter into the cockpit. I remember I saw so many indicators and information which I knew nothing about them. I think that even a small airplane pilot will have some difficulties in understanding what they are. Precisely in the security world. In a comprehensive network where security and infrastructure managers have thousands of files spread over branches, it is difficult for them in any given moment to understand what exactly the status in each device. Questions appear like, is one of my remote offices currently attacked? Are my VPN stable? Do I have any brute force attack that I'm not aware of? Are my firewall configured in best practices? Do I have continuously dump on a specific firewall? What does it mean? What are the implications? Do I have any network issues and know how to identify latency? And so many more. And that's exactly the reason why we developed Revive. We wanted to make sure to give the customer full visibility about his network, a straightforward application that works for the customer and not the opposite. An application that consists of complicated algorithms from the physical to the application layer, and most importantly, agentless and in real time. Let's jump into Revive UI. 30 minutes ago, we simulated some failures on one of the firewalls. Let's see how can we see them. So that's the UI itself. We can see in a high-level overview the dashboard and the devices that need attention. Under the connection statistics, we have a very good module that gives you in any given moment the top services, top destination, and top connection. You can also set some exception. For example, if you have some, I don't know, like SAP or any common SQL server that you want to set exception, you can do that here under port or IP. And we have backup modules that can also backup the modules, and we upload the backup itself to a safe repository, and we can restore that backup only to the UI itself. Let's jump into the health check where we can see the data that Revive pulled from the security devices. So basically here we have some kind of options how to retrieve the information. We can pull the information based on the last 15 minutes, last hours, and last dates. We can also play with the dates between. We can set some filters if you want, okay, and we can play with the devices. So let's filter the device that we simulated. So these are two VS6 clusters and also one of the module clusters. Apply filter. Let's try to expand it to maybe the last 60 minutes. And the easiest way to see the information is to generate report. Click generate report, and the report itself is in HTML. We can expand and collapse it. Okay, so each section represents gateway. So we can see the VS6 gateway right now, and we can see that the process CPD in VSID2, which is a virtual system under the VS6 gateway, is in status terminated. We can see some issues on Core Excel and Secure Excel. We can see some process failure alerts. We can see some kernel route dropped, and we can show the customer how many drops the Linux kernel has been dropped in the last few seconds and so on. We can also see some packet sniffing, and we emphasize the customer what are the implications for such processes, and eventually if they will stay on the firewall for a very long time, they can even crash the firewall. So we identify the customer that we will kill the process after 50 minutes if it will last more than 50 minutes, and so on. Let's jump into the R80.10 module, and we can see here that we saw some very important routers that are not function, and we know how to identify the networks that related to that router. We also saw some sniffing packet. We also saw some debugs, and we can alert the customer and also explain what that dump is. So we basically say that route D belongs to static and dynamic routing, and also we can send some references, SK references. We found some port vulnerability, and we can see the port itself. We saw that the firewall itself was overloaded, and we give the customer the example, the reason why the file was overloaded. So here we can see that the process name DD consumed 99%, and we can also give the example and also explanation what exactly that process is. We saw some missing DNS and we added them successfully. We saw some DA services that are very, very important in the checkpoint world, and also CPD, which we were able to identify and to correct them automatically. We have the remediation module that can do things on the fly without interfering the cluster. We saw that on 6 p.m. CPU 1 and 3 was on above 78%, and so on. We have some audit module that can trace major command at the user type, and we can identify the user, and also we can identify the exact command at the user type, and so on. Here we saw that the cluster was in admin down, and the remediation module was able to restore that successfully, and so on and so on. Like I said, we have a very comprehensive algorithm that can check from the physical to the application layer and also the network layer. Jumping into the slide again, let's summarize what we did and what we saw. So basically we have high overview of all devices to our dashboard. We have a very comprehensive algorithm. We know how to remediate issues to our revived module audit remediation, excuse me. We know how to identify the top sources, connection, and destination to the statistics modules. We know to identify audit and trace user activity. We know how to backup and restore. We know how to send critical alerts and reports to the mail and also to reports, and we know how to filter the relevant information and to present it to the user in a very simple language. Basically, we open for POC and pilots, and we open for suggestions from customers, and we open for anything that you, the customer, think that it's very informative for you and very important for you. Even we open for new development and new opportunity. So contact us, and we will give you the best services you can ever think of. Thank you very much.